which banned unsavory characters from owning or even entering a casino. While impressive as a public relations device, the Black Book conveniently grandfathered in many of the existing mob-connected casino owners and did nothing to keep the out-of-town godfathers from collecting their clandestine cut of the cash. Then, modern conveniences gave an added boost to the mob-controlled industry.
The Carrier Air Conditioning Company figured out how to air condition the casino, and now you had direct flights. You can get on a plane in New York and fly directly to Las Vegas. Well, at that point, as these casinos started going into 2,000 and 3,000 room hotels, there weren't enough gangsters with all that hidden money in the world to build those kinds of casinos. You had to go somewhere else.
But where to go for the cash? Few self-respecting banks and no corporations or Wall Street investors would dare join forces with the shadowy world of gambling. But Vegas leaders would find a new benefactor in an old, familiar friend from the Prohibition days, the Teamsters. But like Las Vegas, the Teamsters Union and their president, Jimmy Hoffa, had a past. And that past was inextricably linked to the mob.
I am not controlled by him, but by the same token, I do not intend to go around and abuse the provisions of the Constitution of the International Union.
You've got people in Detroit, at least 15 who have a police record. You've got Joey Glimpo in Chicago. I'd say you're not tough enough to get rid of these people there.
This came, believe it or not, from Prohibition with the trucking industry. The wise guys were involved in trucking ever since they had to distribute all of the booze in America. And when the Teamsters rose, they were wedded in that business.
In the late 50s, the mob bosses made a deal with the Teamsters Union for a series of sizable loans from the multi-million-dollar pension fund. The earliest Teamster loans were unrelated to gambling, and some were made to legitimate developers and local entrepreneurs for community improvements that were immediately embraced by residents. The next Teamster loans funded expansions of some existing casinos on the ailing Strip and began to revitalize Las Vegas. But there was another lucky break on the horizon, a happening that would bring the glittering highway back to life and officially usher in the decade of the swinging 60s in Las Vegas. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. had all performed as solo acts in Vegas during the 50s. They delighted audiences at the Copa Room of the Sands Hotel, run by entertainment director Jack and Trotter.
All the entertainers loved Jack. And a lot of his entertainers, from what I understood, weren't even under contract. They were like just handshakes.
When Trotter learned that Sinatra, Martin, and Davis were all coming to Las Vegas to film a new picture, Ocean's 11, he had an inspiration for what would become the entertainment event of the decade. With the added presence of Peter Lawford and Joey Bishop, this gang of five dubbed themselves the Summit, although fans would come to know them as the Rat Pack.
I was driving through town nicely, and I hear this man singing one of my songs.
You're out of your damn mind.
The event that put Vegas on the front page of every paper throughout the world was the Summit, when Dean, Frank, Joey Bishop, Sammy Davis, Peter Lawford were on stage all at the same time at the Sands.
You sure about this guy? I don't know about him.
But you sincerely want to dance with me, one of the great Jewish Mau Mau dancers?
How about mixing me just a pigeon? Where you putting that? Everybody hates a smart-ass, Frank. Yeah, but everybody loves the lover. I'm with you.
They tipped a few during the show, and they really had a good time. And those shows were just a lot of fun, you know, because nobody loves to be entertained more than entertainers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like at this time to introduce the leader. Is he here?
No, we went up the river with a sack of cash.
It was like Christmas Eve. It's like the air just sparkled with electricity. And everybody flew in from all over the world.
Miss Shirley MacLaine. Shirley? Miss Angie Dickinson is sitting right over there. That wonderful youngster with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mr. Larry Sherry. Yes, I'd like to introduce my bookmaker. He's way in the back there.
Their dulcet tones and naughty boy charm gave Vegas a publicity shot in the arm. The media went wild, and the Copa Room at the Sands became the international place to be.
I want to just say I'm thrilled. I don't have anything that'll make history. I just want to tell you the only one we missed here is Bing. Bing should be here, but he's giving a pep talk to Charlie Colburn tonight. A pep talk, that's a hell of a thing. You want to...
The Wild West was back in its modern incarnation, and the action was happening all along the Strip. One of the Vegas stars was too young to join the party when he first arrived in Vegas in 1958. Wayne Newton was then 15 and had to leave the casino whenever he wasn't on stage. By 1964, he was headlining at the Flamingo and was an official member of the Vegas set.
There are so many people who would have thought that there was a great battle amongst the performers. It wasn't at all. I mean, you know, it was nothing for us to get together and party until 6 in the morning. Nothing that was lewd and all the things that people would think about Las Vegas. I mean, we really kind of had our own little world there, our own little sandbox.
But that little sandbox held a bounty that was coveted by the rest of the world. By 1966, an enigmatic billionaire wandered into this fantasy wonderland. His name was Howard Hughes, and he wanted to make Vegas his own.
We think we'll be capable of at least 50 miles an hour.
Since the 1940s, Howard Hughes had made a name for himself as the world's most fascinating billionaire. The definition of a Renaissance man, this debonair playboy spearheaded giant corporations, flew and designed aircraft, even carved a name for himself as a Hollywood studio boss, with a reputation for seducing the silver screen's most sought-after starlets. Actress Terry Moore was among his many conquests.
He arranged a accidental meeting, which I didn't know for 10 years that it wasn't an accident. He brought out the maternal in a woman. He was a big baby. He had a way of really making you feel sorry for him.
Brilliant, handsome, and rich, Hughes was known as a paranoid, unpredictable eccentric who seemed to think that ordinary rules didn't apply to him.